Hello and welcome to another video. This one is gonna heal something in 13-year-old Jenna into healing high school Jenna, okay? Today I am going to be recreating, or basically just like doing my makeup the exact same way that I would do it in high school, because I did listen to Clancy by 21 Pilots after posting the vlog, my haircut vlog, because I said I hadn't listened to Clancy yet, but I went and I bought Blurry Face and Vessel, and I was like, you know what, I gotta listen to Clancy, and I did. And then I proceeded to go back to Toys R Us and I bought not just Clancy, but I also bought Trench. And so I have regressed back into my high school self. And I've been wanting to do this video since I reacted to the Overcompensating music video. And so I just thought, why not? The way that I would do my makeup in high school is very dramatic. Let's not forget. So my high school years, 2014 to 2018. Meaning it's been 10 years since I entered high school. Yeah. Oh, Christ. And so those years, makeup in that era was a little crazy. Not even that it was crazy, it was just really heavy. Like, a lot of people were wearing a lot of makeup. So I was also wearing a lot of makeup, but mostly eye makeup. So we're just gonna get right into it. And I'm also just gonna tell some like little high school stories. So if anybody here from high school is watching, y'all probably don't know a lot about me, simply from high school at least, because I never spoke. I walked around with headphones in my ears all the time. And guess what I was listening to? Oh, that's right, 21 Pilots or Hamilton. You know, you gotta keep it balanced every once in a while. Alright, hair is clipped back now. A lot of the products that I'm going to be using, I actually have used since I was in high school. I don't really mix up what I use on my face a lot. However, we'll get into that as we go along. This is actually the exact concealer I would use, CoverGirl, this matte one. There actually used to be one that I think Katy Perry was like the ambassador for. It was called like Play Concealer or whatever the fuck, I don't know. I think it had a green cap or a pink cap. Actually, I think it was pink, but then they changed it and made it this. This is matte. I am gonna use this. However, just so y'all know, I use Rare Beauty concealer now, but I am gonna use this for sake of recreating. I didn't use any primer. I didn't use any cream products, okay? Cream products, not a thing back then. Maybe like a cream bronzer, but then you would go in and like smack on a powder one, okay? Or contour. Nothing was dewy back then. Nothing. Everything was matte. Okay? If you were not powdered to perfection, but don't you worry, because the highlight was always popping. It was always popping, okay? Never used setting spray. This is going to be difficult for me. Like I said, I had very heavy eyeshadow. I would use this palette, the Lorac Pro 2 palette, which I don't even think Lorac is even in business anymore, as you could tell. And I also used this on my eyes, the Naked Pro palette. And I also used this blush palette by Tarte on my eyes. And I still use this one on my eyes, clearly. In terms of face products, bronzer, Hoola bronzer, I never really wore blush. And for, what's it called, mascara, I used the Too Faced Better Than Sex one, or the Roller Lash, and since I haven't used Better Than Sex in probably 6 years, I'm going to be using the Roller Lash. I did liquid eyeliner, black cat eyeliner, every day. Now I use the Kat Von D one, but right now I only have the one size one, so we're gonna be using that. This is going to be fucking horrendous. Like, the way that I did my eyebrows, I used the Anastasia brow definer thing, which I don't use this kind of brow product anymore. I just use brow gel. So we're gonna see how that goes. And then for lips, I don't think I ever really put anything on my lips, except for maybe lip gloss. I think that that's actually everything. Wait, that's insane. Okay, this is gonna be so good for my skin. My skin's gonna love me after this. All right, the way in which concealer was put on back then. Oh God, I'm scared. Oh, Jesus Christ. I hate it. This is how I would put on my under eye concealer. Nice! Nice, nice, nice. I never really went more than that. That's all. I didn't do any of the, like, up here that everybody does now, you know. And then, oh my God, this feels wrong. I would put it on my nose. I'm gonna put it on my forehead. I don't put makeup on my forehead anymore. I haven't put makeup on my forehead in forever, but I'm going to, I would do this. And then I would do this on my chin. And that's all. I would use a beauty blender to blend it out, but I don't have one anymore because I don't like using a beauty blender. So I'm just gonna use my fingers, and we're gonna talk about high school. So, high school was a time for me. Honestly, you know, I was always kind of terrified of high school, simply just because of the fact that I was very, very into YouTube. And I still love YouTube, clearly. And so I was watching YouTube at the time when all my favorite YouTubers were doing that draw my life kind of tag. And for some fucking reason, every single one of them had a horrible high school experience. All of them. They were all bullied. They were like, it was the worst time of my life. It was blah, blah, blah. And I was like, holy shit, this is gonna be awful. But it wasn't. It wasn't all awful. Like, actually, really at all. It was just kind of normal. You know, I wasn't popular. I was probably known, not even known. You know, I was quiet. I didn't really speak. I never rose my hand for anything. I had a couple of friends. Like, I actually genuinely only had 3 friends. I spoke to 3 people. And plus one of those person's boyfriends. He was a friend as well. So, and then by the time grade 12 rolled around, I became extra quiet. I spent every day in the art room. I'm not kidding. Every morning. Because here's the thing as well. My high school, I didn't live near my high school, so I couldn't get a bus unless I went to the special program, and I didn't want to go in that program. And so I got a ride to school every day, which was nice. However, I had to wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning. I willingly woke up at 5 o'clock in the morning to do this exact makeup every single day. 5 days a week. 5 o'clock in the morning. Nice. So I would do this. And I would get to school at like 7 in the morning. Because we had to leave by like 6:30. Because my school was probably about a 15-minute drive. On a good day. Alright, now that it's all blended out. Honestly, it doesn't look horrible. We're going to put powder on. I used the Laura Mercier powder, however, this is the one that I have now. This is the Hourglass one. I've been using this one for years. My older brother gave this to me. But anyways, I would get up at 5 o'clock in the morning, do this makeup every day. I would be at school at 7 in the morning, and I would go right into the art room. Because I loved art, and I do still love art, and I love being creative, but being in high school was probably the most fulfillingly, I don't fucking know what I'm trying to say, most fulfillingly creative time for me, because I just had enormous amounts of time to do it. But I was very quiet in high school. I didn't speak a whole lot. I didn't take grade 9 or 10 seriously at all. I was very bad at school, okay? I have ADHD. I was very bad at high school in grades 9 and 10. I tried very, very hard by grade 11 and grade 12. However, you know, my least favorite subject ever, and still, math. Fuck math. okay? I hate it. I took math in grade 11 and I never took it again. I didn't have to. I got a degree in history. I didn't have to take grade 12 math. God bless! So I haven't done math since grade 11. And that was 2016/2017. So that's been damn near 10 years since I've had to do math. I consider myself pretty lucky. Then I would go in with the Hoola bronzer. And fun fact, this is actually the exact brush that I would use. All of these brushes that I'm using, yeah, I've had these since high school. I haven't changed them. I wash them maybe once every 2 years. But that's about it. And then I just chisel. Okay? Now, this part has kind of stayed the same. I've always done my bronzer in like the 3, because that's what I learned from Miss Bethany Moda, who I was very obsessed with, and she's the reason, and still is the reason why I love YouTube and want to do YouTube. She is my everything, okay? She's my idol. I saw her once. I was gonna say I met her. I never met her. But I made my parents take me to Toronto for this, like, YouTube event that was happening at the Yonge in Dundas Square, whatever the fuck it was, by the Eaton Center, and I sat on my stepdad's shoulders to see Bethany Moda, and it was the best day of my life. I've still got those pictures on my iPod Touch. I had hair down to my ass, essentially, until October of grade 11, when I just decided to be so completely different from everybody else in my generation, you know what I mean? Like, nobody's ever made that drastic of a change. But I cut all of my hair off to about here, when it was down, like I said, to my waist. Pictures, for example. And I cut it all off because, I don't know, I was bored. And then I went on a trip to Europe, and that was very fun for the 100th anniversary of the Battle of Vimy Ridge. Very into history, very big history kid here. And then after that, I got another haircut. That haircut shaped me as a woman, okay? Because here's the thing, 13 Reasons Why had just came out, the first season, right? And y'all know how Hannah Baker, she has long hair, and then she gets it cut to about, like, her earlobe. Yeah, I went in to get a haircut, and I was like, can I, because by the time, it had grown out to about here. And I was like, can I get it cut to my shoulders? And she said, say less. And then she was like, oh my god, have you seen 13 Reasons Why? We can cut it like hers. And I went, oh, okay, because I had seen it, but I forgot how short it was. I came out of that fucking salon with hair that went down to here, and I wanted it here, and she cut it to about here. I didn't wear blush, really, but I do remember I had this one Tarte blush that came from, like, a birthday present, and it looked like this one, so I'm just gonna do a little bit. And I literally just did it like this. Because that was the thing. You just, the apples of your cheeks. There was none of this. There was none of this. I mean, maybe there was, but I wasn't looking at those people. You know? That's how blush was done. You can't see it, I don't think. But I can, so. So my hair got cut to about there. It was a little bit traumatizing, but here I am with still short hair. I can't stand having long hair, honestly. Like, my hair is so thick and heavy, and my hair sheds so easily, okay? So the shorter it is, the better. This would be my base, okay? Then we would go on to eyeshadow. Now, I would use an eyeshadow primer, however, I haven't used one of those in forever, so I don't have one. I used the Urban Decay Shadow Potion fucking insurance thing. No. I used the primer potion from Urban Decay and then the shadow insurance from Too Faced, but now I just use concealer and powder. So I'm just gonna go like so. Nice. Oh my god, why haven't we spoken about 21 Pilots yet? So I started listening to 21 Pilots, I'm pretty sure in the summer between grade 9 and grade 10. was introduced to them by two friends, and I heard Car Radio and Heart of Gold for the first time, and I said, hey, well, that's my new favorite band. I said, well, hey, these are my new favorite musicians. So I became obsessed with them, and I was listening to Vessel. I think Blurry Face was out already? Question mark? I can't really remember. But Blurry Face would literally be the only thing that I listened to walking to and from the bus after school. Because I couldn't get a bus in the morning, but I would sneak on to a bus at night because I also had a friend who also lived where we lived in the same area. We had been friends since grade 3. And so we lived in the same area. So I just hopped on the bus with her. And I was never caught. So, well, Josh is my favorite. I love Josh. And yeah, that's all I listened to. And because of them, my aesthetic went from like, I didn't even really have an aesthetic. I went from being like very Bethany Moda Tumblr girl to 21 Pilots Tumblr girl, you know what I mean? And without even having Tumblr. I still think to this fucking day I am a god in the sense that I pretended to be a Tumblr girl without ever getting the trauma of Tumblr. Good for me. But now I'm going to take the Naked Urban Decay Basics Ultimate Basics palette. I would do this every goddamn day. Okay, I'm actually going to use a different brush than this one. I'm going to use this brush. And I'm going to go in with these two colors and put them in my crease. I feel like Bethany Moda right now. Put these in my crease. Load that brush the fuck up. Okay, load it up. We're not messing around with eyeshadow here, okay? And we just do this. There was like a rule in eyeshadow where it was like you would do the light, and then you would do medium, and then you would do dark. It was a 3-step process, always. And it still kind of is, but, you know, people take it however they want now. But, yeah. Anyways, back to 21 Pilots. In high school, I had Vessel and Blurry Face, and then I also had... Here's the thing. They call Vessel their debut, but they also have their namesake album, and then they also have an album before that. I haven't listened to that one, simply just because it's not anywhere, and I am not willing to get a virus on my laptop to listen to it, you know what I mean? But I love the song Aircatcher, and oh my god, Oh Miss Believer. That song is literal fucking Christmas to me. That is a Christmas song. I have it on my Christmas playlist, okay? It's such a beautiful song. And then in my first year of university, we got Trench. And oh my god, was I fucking obsessed with that. Trench reminds me of driving, because I actually got my license only in 2018. I didn't have my license for the entirety of high school, because fuck that. But I got it in my first year of university. And I would listen to Trench in the car driving to university. And it, like, listening to Trench transports me back to being in my Civic and driving and seeing all the fall leaves and being obsessed with thrifting for the first time and everything. Oh my god, Trench is just it's transcendent. I think all 21 Pilots music is transcendent for me, simply just because I can listen to it, close my eyes, and immediately know where I was and what I was doing when I would listen to that song. Message Man was always my walking back from the school bus song. Always. I wanted to be stomping home. I wanted to look mysterious. I wanted to look moody and emo. Okay? Now, we're gonna go in with, what's this? Faith. Oh, that's another thing. One thing about me, hey, I didn't know that 21 Pilots was basically like a Christian rock band until my older brother told me it was. And I was like, what? And then you listen to their namesake album and you're like, oh, okay, these songs are all about Jesus. Got it. This color we take and we go halfway to the crease. Halfway. We don't go all the way, we just do halfway and a bit on the outer corner. You got it? Okay. But yeah, blurry face was what made me start doing my makeup basically this way. I just really wanted to look very moody. And I also think in high school, I just really wanted to look unapproachable. I did not want people approaching me. I don't know. I've always been very afraid of people. I've always been a very anxious, scared person. And so I never really wanted to be approached by people in high school. You know? Which made for a very lonely time, but I did it to myself. I was particularly lonely in grade 12 because my friends, they were all, like I said, the 3 friends that I had, they were all kind of doing their own things, and which is like no fault to their own or anything, but that's what I mean by I spent a lot of time in the art room just doing art, because I was also in grade 12 in this class called the painting and drawing class. I was the only one in it, because technically you had to take grade 12 art before you could take that class. Not me. I was special, apparently. And so I took the painting and drawing class before grade 12 art, because the art teacher let me. She was like, well, you like art enough, so I'm actually gonna let you do it. And I was like, ah, bless your soul! So she let me do it. And it was good. I really enjoyed it. I got to paint a door. Very fun, very cool. Let's talk about Clancy and my favorite songs off the album. But before we do that, we go in with now Lockout. And we put it only on the outer corner. Only. Like, basically you just stamp it. And a little bit. And it goes underneath the eye as well. And then after that, you blend it all together. I would get up at 5 o'clock in the morning every day to do this. I would put on this much fucking eyeshadow. I can't even imagine putting on this much eyeshadow now. And, like, I put purple eyeshadow on now and shit like that, but, like, it doesn't take me very long. I put a blush underneath it, and then I put a sparkly, shimmery one, and then a purpley eyeliner. That is all that I do. I don't get up at 5 o'clock in the morning to do this. That's actually ridiculous. I was doing it for myself. I enjoyed it. I enjoy the process of doing makeup and stuff like that. But just the amount of eyeshadow I was putting on. Like, I did not have to be doing all this, you know? But I felt like it, so I did it. Now, my favorite songs off of Clancy. Midwest Indigo. Routines in the Night. Snapback is probably my favorite on the album. I also love Oldie Station. Oh my god, the lyric, you're in the crowd for her first dance recital. Tyler Joseph, what if I did something drastic? Okay, this is about how the eyeshadow would be looking. It's a lot. And then I would go in with the Lorac Pro Palette 2. And I would take this exact brush. This is an e.l.f. brush that I think I got in Target when Target Canada was still around. And clearly I have used this a lot. And I am going to take Rosé. Doesn't match the colors of the eyeshadow that I just used at all. But I'm going to take it because it's very shimmery and very pretty. And I'm going to put it on the inner half of my lid only. It's not going anywhere else but there. And then it's also going to go on the inner corner because that's what we did. And also on the brow bone because that's also what we did. Gen Z woman acting like a millennial for 30 minutes straight. And that's about that. Now, this is where things get intense. It's time for eyeliner. Now I am going to turn off the camera because I have to be about this close to my mirror. Even closer than that. I have to be this close. And I'm going to be not in frame. And so I'm going to come back. I will show you these pictures of what my eyeliner looked like in high school. I would like to think I'm better at it now. But we'll have to see. I'll have to do it And then we'll see if it's okay. I would curl my eyelashes though before I did this so that I could see the way in which that it would go. You know what I mean? Okay. I will be 2 seconds. That's as good as it's gonna get. This eye was always bad. This eye was always chunky and ugly. This eye was always fantastic. Just like it is right now. So that feels correct. And then I would recurl my lashes. I just realized I could have just used this the entire time, but it felt wrong. I always had to be like in my mirror. Ow, that just pinched my eyelid. But I recurl my lashes. And I put on my mascara. It wasn't really until grade 12 that I started using roller lash because I used Better Than Sex literally every day. That was the mascara until roller lash came around, okay? And I always only ever did eyeliner on like half of my eye. I did not do the whole lash line. My lashes also back then used to hold curl a lot better than they do now. And my eyelashes actually used to curl back then. But they kind of grow straight down into my eyes now, which is... I don't want to talk about it. I don't really have much else to talk about, like, from high school, essentially. Simply because, like I said, I just was a very quiet kid. And I didn't talk. I stuck to myself. I usually sat in the front row of every class, but in the corner close to the door so I could always be the first one to leave. And then I was also like that in university, so high school was definitely a time that I lived through, you know. Mascara's done. This lighting is so bad every time. Anyways, this is what I would look like. It's weird not having, hey, like any blush on. Yo, we're gonna have to speed run this next, like, couple steps. Because my phone keeps running out of storage! Eyebrows. Anastasia Brow Definer. I almost said Brow Wiz. I did used to use the Brow Wiz and stuff like that, but... Also, this does come with a spoolie. I would use this MAC spoolie instead, because I'm pretentious. And now the thing back then was to make like a line under your brow and then just like fill it in like this. So I'm gonna do that. I don't think I had like brow blindness, what everybody says. I think the whole like blindness thing that everybody's doing on TikTok and whatnot. Shut up. Anyways, simply because these are my brows without any product in them. So I didn't have to do a whole lot. That's why I don't use this anymore. I just use brow gel because I'm like, I don't need all this. But I would do like a line. Oh my god, it worked. Slay, I thought it was basically tried out. And then I would just kind of fill in the sparse areas because that's what Bethany Moda told me to do. It was like a coloring book. I was always very proud of my eyebrows, and I still kind of am. Because of how they looked, and I didn't really have to like draw them on. I just kind of had to lightly trace over them. But like, look at how much darker that one is compared to the other one. That's crazy. Okay, and then after they're drawn on, the whole point of a spoolie is to like disperse the product that you just put in to make it look lighter and smoother and softer. So that's what you go and you do. Oh my god, they look so goddamn dark. Ew, that's disgusting. And then I would take brow gel. I used a Maybelline brow gel. I don't think they even make it anymore. So I'm just gonna use Boy Brow. I just brush them up. Oh my god, they look like blocks. Excuse me. I really didn't... I didn't think they look... Did they look like this? I don't think they did. I think I just pushed a little too hard. I hope. And then I would highlight the fuck out of my face, okay? I would take this Hourglass palette. It's broken. And the thing about highlighter back then, it was everything. Like, you needed to have a popping highlighter for your makeup to be like, people to be like, oh my god, your makeup looks so good. Because here's the thing, like I said, we didn't use any cream products or nothing. But we looked fucking sweaty as shit. Because our highlighter was always beaming the fuck off of our face. And since this usually wasn't enough for me, I would go back in to the Lorac palette, and I would take this like champagne-y color, and I would, because it was that much more intense, and I would just, like, there was no need to be looking this fucking sweaty without having any cream or like setting spray product on my face. You know, like, you can't even really tell because the lighting is so crazy. But and then I would put lip balm on, and I think that was usually it. Right now I'm just using Prevex. I don't even know what kind of, I think I would use like Burt's Bees or something. I don't fucking know. Actually, I would use a lip gloss that was very close to this color. This is a Tarte one, and the other one that I had was also a Tarte lip gloss, but it was in the shade like Birthday Suit or something. The lip gloss and that other blush, Tarte blush that I was talking about, was what came in the birthday gift, but I'm just gonna use this. Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh god, it's so ugly. All right. Now that that lip gloss is on, and it's horrid. That's it. This is exactly how I would do my makeup every single day for high school. I would wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning, clock in, and I would do this makeup. That's insane. I don't like it. I don't like how there's really no blush. I hate the lip gloss. I don't mind the eyes. It's just like, why is there so much? You know? Actually, the concealer isn't too bad. I don't hate the concealer. I also don't mind like the bronzer and stuff like that, but that's basically how I do my makeup still, with the bronzer and the concealer. I don't do that much concealer under my eyes anymore, but I don't think the amount of concealer that's under my eyes doesn't look bad. Maybe, I don't know. Thank you for coming down memory lane with me. If you had a fun time, let me know by giving this video a big fat thumbs up, if you will. And I'm gonna go take this off now. At least I'm taking off the lip gloss. It's so sticky. Watch. Ew. Happy Clancy. Happy 21 Pilots. Okay. Actually, wait. Maybe this is better lighting. This is how I did my makeup every day. Again, this lip gloss is disgusting. Like, I also don't even know how old that lip gloss is. I just found it and I was like, hey, that looks exactly the same as what I would put on. Yeah. But anyways, now I'm gonna go.